Hi. Okay, so yeah, as you can see in the title, today's topic is consistency. And if I elaborate on it, it's consistency and hard work. From a guy who does not do a lot of consistency and hard work, I'm basically a noob in it. I don't know if you are or not. Maybe you are, maybe you're not. And yes, uh, this video will be a bit edited, but even then I'm gonna call it hashtag unedited because I haven't technically added any colors, changed the color tone, or why am I looking somewhere else? I should look over here. I haven't changed the color tones, I haven't raised the volume, I haven't done anything like that. All I did is cut out the beginning part because I have finally flipped the phone. Now I'm looking at the back of the phone and I cannot see myself, which feels very weird. Also uncomfortable because I do not know if I'm out of the camera. Though I did take a picture before starting this video to just check if I am in full view. I hope I am. So yeah, back to consistency. I'm going to talk about it, babble about it. Basically, this is what this whole vlog series has been. This whole vlog series, I want to make it into, and it is turning into that. This is vlog 21, and let's begin. So, consistency is something that I've heard since childhood. Who hasn't? But as every other child, I never followed it. Why would I? I don't want to follow it. I want to do something, get bored at it, and do something else. So why be consistent at it? But apparently that helps you. And when I look back, I unintentionally was consistent in many aspects of my life, which have actually built up my skills. I would never say talent because I don't think I have a talent. I've heard some of my friends who have rarely ever done arts say I am talented in arts, and I get angry at them because it's like I'm not talented in arts. I worked my a-hole off. Okay, that's how hard I worked. Probably stuck a brush in there also. I don't know. So yeah, my first example is arts. Since I was young, my mother gives me the example of this even now. Uh, Whenever we used to go on a road trip, I would take with me a few pages or a book, empty like writing book, or I didn't have a sketchbook at that time, so empty writing book or a few sheets of paper, pencil, color pencil, something. Because while we were going there, I would draw or do something like I wouldn't draw look outside. I'm unfortunately not the type of person who looks at nature a lot. At least at that time, I definitely didn't. But I used to draw dinosaurs and Ben 10, whatever. At that time, for me in the 2000s, I mean, I've already told my age. I was born in 2006, so I'm from sort of the late 2000s, you could say. Though I like to say early 2000s because I'm looking at 2000 as a whole thing and not just 200, not and like the third zero. I'm not looking at. Okay, I'm just confusing everybody. That was my first thing. I've been doing arts since I was young. It's a way for me, as much as I've understood, it's a way for me to open up to the world or like express myself. Because reading is kind of boring for me. I force myself and I enjoy it when I read, but I can't make myself sit down. Like literally right now I have to read a book. I have like this thing. I have a list of things that I do every day, and one of those things is read 10 pages of any book. Literally, I've given myself the freedom to say any book, but even then I have problems. So I have to read 10 pages of a book that I'm reading. It's a memoir. H is for hawk. And I can't. I've literally thought to myself, oh yeah, I'm gonna read it, and then I don't feel like it, and I'm gonna do it later. Later tonight. So right now it's tonight, I think it's 12 o'clock. It's like uh, 40 minutes, actually, no, 35 minutes away for me currently, for it to be 12 a.m. and Tuesday. So yeah, that's first arts. Then another thing, after that, I technically haven't been really consistent with anything else that much, not even with studies technically, or with grades, but I recently started doing it more. For example, this vlog, and it's actually changed me a bit. It sounds, I don't know why, it sounds funny for me that it has changed me. I feel like I've changed. Maybe I'm just lying to myself. But even then, I don't know, I feel better about myself. I've started writing a fictional passage every day. I love writing. But the problem is, if I wouldn't sit down and write, even though I love writing, I want to write a novelty. Why not? But I wouldn't. I wouldn't sit down. So I started sitting down. Every single day I have to write one passage. I can't write more than that. I can't write less than that. Why can't I write more than that? Because I don't want to get, what do we call it? Oh yeah, block. I don't want to get a block. So I force myself that I can only write one passage every day. Similar to that, I've also started daily poetry. Originally I wasn't that much interested in poetry, but what happened is, in 11th grade, yeah, in 11th grade, I'm right now in A2, so I guess 2 years ago, 3 years ago, actually not 2 years ago, I think, yeah, technically '03 was 2 years ago, but anyways, I used to kind of ask my teacher again and again how to write song lyrics, because that was something I was interested in. I wanted to write lyrics, but I didn't understand how. And my teacher would be like, "Oh, you can try this, that." She didn't know exactly. Obviously, she's an English teacher. She's not a music teacher. But I used to ask her because that was the only person I knew who might have the answer. And then there was this uh, poetry competition in another school, and she forced me into it. And I was like, I don't write poetry. And she was like, "Yeah, you don't write poetry, but you try to write song lyrics. It's not that different." So I'm like, okay. And at that time, what I did was, I went to a website. Uh, it's called Rhyme Zone. Yeah, Rhyme Zone. I think it was called Rhyme Zone. Whatever it's called. Basically, that website shows every single word that sounds similar. Not sounds, actually, I think it, it actually goes with the spellings, maybe. Or maybe it goes with the sound. And it shows me every single word across the internet. It shows all of them. So from that, I made my first few poems. I even went to the competition, failed miserably, but I enjoyed it because it felt like I had just learned a new skill. Then I didn't use it anymore. I didn't. Um, but recently, I started getting attracted to poetry again when I started writing passages, like daily passages. And the reason was, poetry always looked like this faraway thing that I could not grasp. So I asked Gemini. Yeah, I asked an AI. I didn't even ask some English teacher. I asked an AI. So I asked Gemini, like, what is poetry, the basics, and what I concluded was, essentially, poetry has nothing left. There are no full-fledged rules. Yeah, you can. There are some suggestions, but there aren't any concrete rules. The only rule that I find across poetry is musical. Uh, it should You should be able to sing it in a way. It should have a musical rhythm to it. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna try that, and I tried it. And at first, I was just focusing on uh, trying to rhyme, literally rhyme, as in word, like as close as possible. And now that I look back, at first I did that, then I went to a bit of like verbal rhymes, and my rhymes started to sound a bit like Dr. Seuss, which is fun. Which was really fun. And now currently, I am flipping between doing what I'm calling normal poetry and rap. First, before I continue, I just want to point out both these passages and poetry are shit. Okay, I know that. I know that myself. I am not writing anything that is breathtaking. But the thing is, in my perspective, if you keep doing something again and again and again and again, there comes a point where you get better than at least the next person who hasn't even started. So that's what I'm trying to do. According to my friend who is a literature student, she says I am getting better because I sometimes show her some of my poems. She says I'm getting better. Maybe she's just trying to keep me happy. Maybe not. I don't know. I'm trying to trust her uh, words because she's the literature student. She never says I'm the best poet she has ever heard of, but she says it's getting better. I haven't shown her the recent ones, the rap ones, because I don't know how she's gonna react to it. But the reason why the rap thing started is Childish Gambino or Donald Glover. I found out about him, listened to This Is America for the first time. Yes, at the age of 18, I listened to This Is America for the first time. And then I also listened to the song that got kind of viral recently, Big Dogs. Dogs, but in the spelling of DAWGES. So I listened to both of them. Then I listened to Sweatpants by Donald Glover, and then I stuck with This Is American and Sweatpants, and I started writing rap instead of poetry. I think there's also the connection of I saw a TED video. It wasn't a TED talk. They were explaining something, and what they were explaining was what is poetry, and what they essentially said is even rap is poetry, even this is poetry, that is poetry. Poetry and prose have basically lost concrete rules. The main thing that differences them is that prose is more like you're trying to get someone immersed in a universe without the whole musical rhythm. In my perspective, this is my perspective, by the way, and poetry is musical. So I would differentiate them as prose would be all the other film genres, and poetry would be the musicals. That's how I differentiate. So yeah, so I've started noticing I'm getting better at rhyming. In poetry, I'm finding it easier to and faster to do just that. Thirdly, I've started these vlogs and the posting on Twitter. Yes, I've started posting again after 3 days, 2 to 3 days. And what I've realized is I'm getting better. In the vlogs, I'm getting more. I at least I feel like I'm getting more confident. Maybe I'm not. Maybe I am stuttering a lot. Even now, when I'm getting more conscious, I do find myself stuttering, and I am not looking at the camera directly a lot of times. Probably because don't see an eye, but even when I look at an eye, it kind of divert. Maybe that's just because of looking at the screen most of the time. But I'm trying. And I hope you are too. If you don't find that important, okay. You do you. I do me. And so yeah, vlogs. I feel like I'm getting better. When I look at my first vlog, and when I look at my latest vlog, let's say vlog 20 or vlog 21, which is this one, vlog 21. it kind of feels like I'm getting better. Sorry, I had a burp. So, essentially, when you try again and again and again, you do get better. Uh, Alex Hormozy actually said something like this too, that if you keep trying, like even if you don't deserve the thing that you want to get, you can brute force your way to it. You can succeed through brute force. I find that really nice because, I mean, I'm human too. And a lot of times, I also find myself feeling like I don't deserve this thing, but I get it. Which reminds me, one final example from my life, which currently happened. I think I mentioned it in vlog 20 even. I've made my first album, and it feels great. I know all the songs. I don't want to call them songs because there are no lyrics. I want to call them music. But, and I know the shit. But the fact that I completed it, even if I wasn't able to do it every single day, my consistency was broken. I started in, I think, the ending of July before I went to England. I did a bit of it in England. Then I came back and I did a bit of it. Then I left it. And then I did a bit of it, I think, 2 days ago. Or no, actually, yesterday. I did finish it yesterday. And now I'm just trying to figure out what the cover art should be because I wanna upload it on this very channel. I'm going to. I don't care if it's shit. I'm going to upload it as if it's a big thing. And I've also found out how to put it on YouTube Music. For anybody who thinks you can't, I mean, I didn't think you could because I thought it had the same rules as Spotify, but it doesn't apparently, which is great. All you have to do is like categorize your video as a music video, not a music video, just music. Like how, for example, these vlogs come in the category of blogs and people, or people and blogs. According to YouTube, YouTube actually asks you what category you want to put this video in. So, for example, I have this gaming video, which just came out. I put in the category of gaming. All these vlogs come in people and blogs. Just like that, there's a category for music. If you put it in there, you also put hashtag music, let's say, YouTube will understand that they have to also transfer it to YouTube Music. Just like how in YouTube Kids, if you tell that, yeah, the age, this video can be viewed by people below 18, or like actually this video can be viewed by kids, YouTube will put in YouTube Kids. So I hope you understand. So yeah, I'm trying to look for cover art, but that is, putting that aside, the fact that I was able to finish it is such a great thing because in my first album, I'll just tell you the name. I call it Testing. The album's name is Testing, and each of the track, I'll just call it track. There are 6 tracks. They're less than 2 minutes even. Each of them kind of show my transition to becoming better, understanding, because I don't know how to use actual instruments. I don't know how to sing. I can't, at least not yet. I want to learn. I'll learn in the future. But I wanted to start going into the music scope. Let's call it scope. I want to call it industry, but technically I'm not in the industry. Even if I upload it, I'm an independent artist. So I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I am putting myself in the music industry. But putting that aside again. Like putting that aside, just try. You don't have to do it every day. Whatever you want to do, don't do it every day if you can't do it. I've seen many people say, don't do art every day. Understandable. You're not able to do it every day, which is okay. It's okay. Do it every week. Okay. The thing is, when you put yourself in the position that you have to do it, even if you make something stupid. The fact that you made it will get you better because you learn from your mistakes. If you make a mistake that day, you'll identify it. If you focus, if you don't, if you just, like, let's say you have to do art every day or every week, and one day you don't, one way or one week you don't feel like doing it, and you just scribble a little bit and just say, I'm done. That's not art. Neither did you learn anything from it. All you did is waste your time and also not continue what you were trying to do. So just try. That's essentially what I want to say. Just try. It might be reading books, might be cooking, might be talking to a friend. Even if it's a specific friend, you have a friend who you feel like you're separating with a lot more over the course of years, an old friend, you want to talk to them. Talk to them. Literally talk to them more. And it will, and even if at the end of the day you fail, you learn something about yourself. Yeah, sure, you might argue that you learned not to do that thing, but you could also look at it from the inverse perspective, which is you got to learn multiple other things. For example, even if I don't become the greatest poet alive, I learned rhyming. Even if I don't become the greatest writer alive, I learned storytelling. Even if I don't become the greatest artist alive, I learned the color theory. Everything has an advantage, but it also has a disadvantage. The only thing is, what weighs more for you? What is more important for you? Are the disadvantages more important for you for a thing, or are the advantages for you more important? Now, I don't want to get dark, but even murdering has an advantage and a disadvantage. But the reason why murdering is considered wrong, I even consider it wrong, the reason why it's wrong is the disadvantages outweigh the advantages. Sure, the murderer might enjoy it. They feel delighted. Sure, they you are decreasing population. Over a lot of people say there's overpopulation. It's decreasing population. Sure, all of those things are right. But there are so many disadvantages. Like, you're going against human rights. Taking somebody else's life. You're psychologically tormenting many people connected to that person that you just killed. Moreover, the thing that affects other people for the bliss that you get seems, at least to me, very selfish. Doesn't it? Like, you're causing other people harm, other people annoyance, other people, let's not call it annoyance, grief, for your own betterment? That doesn't seem righteous. That doesn't make you look broken-hearted. That just ruins the whole aspect of it. Rather than that express yourself through some medium that doesn't affect people. Like, everything will affect everyone, but you shouldn't affect people in a way that would inevitably harm them. There are two types of harm, right? Like, one of them is annoyance. The other is literally killing them. See the difference? On one side, they're annoyed, they can leave. On the other side, you're going after them and hurting them. So I hope you understand. Yeah. So consistency and hard work. I'm definitely gonna title this consistency. Only consistency. I'm literally thinking of this. No more of this stupid, really long titles. Simple, one word, two words. Think of it. I'm gonna think of it as if it's a story or a poem. See you in vlog 20. Sorry. See you in vlog 22. Bye.